Alrighty. Good day to all you glorious legendary resonators, you absolute lovely bastards. My name is FOXSOL. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more WutheringWaves, and welcome back to another conversation of topic. And in today's conversation of topic, I want to discuss Camellya's campaign story. Because in the past, I've nitpicked about the story of WutheringWaves to a good degree. And some of y'all agreed and some of y'all disagreed. So, what's my thoughts on this? Well, kick your feet up, grab a cold one, relax, and let's dive into this conversation together. Alrighty, so if you've been following my channel for a little while, you'll know that I am, named a lot of different things, but at the same point in time, you'll know that I am the nitpick guy when it comes to WutheringWaves. That I will nitpick about certain things because I've played the game for so long, every single day, and I have done so much with this game that things like the story has been nitpicks for me. So if you haven't been hidden under a rock and this is like your newest video and you don't know who I am, I'll put it like this. WutheringWaves, while it's a great game, I do believe suffers from several different issues. One of those main issues that I have discussed multiple times is with the story. I do find that the WutheringWaves story itself, in general, does lack a lot of finesse, if you would, behind it. That the problem with it is that the pacing of it in some cases is either long and drugged out. In other cases, it's really just an information dump and really doesn't add much to the story. And sometimes you just have to sit there and you have to just completely digest what's going on. And I'll say it like this. My biggest complaints was, like, for example, the shorekeeper. The shorekeeper herself, while a great character, I'll put it like this. I did not like her story because I felt like with her story in particular, it felt like it was completely an informational dumpage. It did not basically bolster the relationship between two characters like in traditional storytelling you would expect. There was no climax. There was more just, hey, shorekeeper comes in, meets Rover, all this weird stuff happens, walla bing, walla boom, not enough time to develop a character relationship for anything. And I even said the same thing pretty much about Encore, because Encore was missing since 1.2 and went MIA, and then all of a sudden we get a huge information dump, which basically, I know people disagree with me on this, and that's fine. Please don't take my opinion to freaking heart, okay? This is my opinion. But again, another time where character relation building was basically dumbed down or toned down, if you would, to the fact of, oh, we have to, rush this a little bit and get you to have, we're gonna need to pull on the heartstrings a little bit. We need to make you feel something. And when a story does that, I don't end up actually caring about the character. If anything, I get annoyed with the characters. Now, I was expecting coming into 1.4, basically the same thing with Camellya. I was expecting, well, last time we seen her was in 1.0, and then, what they're going to do, just going to throw her in my lap and be done and over? Well, technically they did throw her in my lap, but I think they did it honestly the right way. Now, without going into spoilers, and if you're a person who hasn't watched anything with WutheringWaves, or you haven't in general played Camellya's story yet, I don't want to spoil you on it, but I'll say it like this. What Camellya's story does the pacing, in my opinion, perfectly great. It gave us a beginning. It gave us a bonding time. It gave it to where we ended up actually having more emotional value from actions and from not just being thrown a story at us and being like, hey, you got to decipher it. More of the fact that we had to discover more about Camellya through the story. And you know, it tugged on the heartstrings a little bit, but it tugged on it the right way. And by having this beginning, this character bonding, this middle, and all the way to the climax of the ending, my only complaint with the story, and the reason why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, is because I want more. By the end of it, I wanted more story with Camellya and Rover. I'm not going to lie. It was that good. And compared to some other companion stories that has been over like 2 hours long to 3 hours long, this is actually kind of the shortest story I've gone through for only being an hour long. And with it being an hour long, you know, and being able to do all of this makes me see, holy crap, okay, Kuro can do writing. Whoever wrote this Camellya story needs to be writing the entire main story of the game completely, because they hit every single mark. They hit every single mark to the point to where I had to say, you know, if someone else out there makes a video and says that Camellya's story is absolutely perfect, I would have to agree. I would honestly have to agree. I think this is the right junction. I think this is the way that Kuro needs to go. I think this is the way they need to present the story. And we're not going to talk about the main story, Knock Knock, just yet, because we haven't finished it just yet. But we're going to get into the Knock story later on, once I complete it, and I'll give you my opinion on it. But I can give you a little bit of a preview on that. From what we have experienced so far, it's a crazy, chaotic story. Kind of doesn't make no sense, but it's actually kind of fun at the same time. Like, it also hits a lot of different marks that is kind of gotten me excited to see what happens on the 16th when the time gate is over, so that way we can actually experience the final parts of the story. So yeah, gotta love old-fashioned time gate, right? Am I right? I mean, let's be honest, time gating kind of sucks, but at the same point in time, I understand that they want, you know, their update to kind of last through a little bit. So we'll be patient and we'll get through that. But in general, if you have yet to experience Camellya's companion story, I'm going to tell you, please take the time, take a seat, go relax, and go play it for yourself and go experience it. Especially if you're a person who had the same type of opinion like me, like a few others did, where, hey, we didn't really like 1.3 story or 1.2 story. Even though we thought 1.1 was a little bit more drugged out, we did feel like 1.1 and 1.0 was better. And that 1.2 and 1.3 just, you know, throws a lot of information dumping at us, and we didn't like it. Well, if you're one of those people that believe that, just like I did, I'm telling you right now, 1.4 has me looking into the future with WutheringWaves, and I'm kind of excited, because if they can do this so far with 1.4, I think 2.0 is going to be really pretty damn good. So otherwise than that, guys, leave your comments down below. Tell me if you've already experienced the Camellya story. What's your thoughts on it? What's your rating? Do you give it a 9 out of 10? Do you give it a full 10 out of 10? Or are you on the fence and you give it a, you know, possibly even lower score? I don't see how you would, but I would love to hear that opinion from you guys, you know, in general, what your thoughts is behind that. So, like always, guys, hey, if you like the video, please consider giving the video a like. Please consider sharing the video out. At the same point in time, if you dislike the video, please consider giving the video a dislike. At the same time, leave your criticism down below. And like always, guys, keep it real, keep it classy, and keep it jazzy. I'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good day. Peace.